Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because at Lowe's, pros can get the latest power tools from trusted brands. Right now, you can buy the new Bosch Core 18-volt 2-tool combo kit for $229 and get one of 3 select cordless Bear tools free, worth up to $199. Plus, you can save time by ordering online and picking up in-store. Stop by the Pro Desk or visit Lowe'sForPros.com for details. So, Pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 1/30/2019 while supplies last. U.S. only.
Blog Talk Radio.
People of the States United, welcome to the show, The Constitution Explained. Forget about Limbo and Beck. It's time to turn them off and tune in right here. Make yourself comfortable for the next 2 hours and be ready to be re-affiliated with the founding of our great union. This is the show you all have been waiting for. This is a show where you'll cast aside your indoctrination into the system of lies and relearn the construct of the Union of States as established and ratified in the year of 1789. I am your host, known only as Harry. I strive to assist the people of the states in recognizing the true heritage of liberty and freedom which the establishers of the Union of Individual States had in plan for their future generations. That heritage was not only misunderstood from the initiation of the contract between states, but it was also reconstructed into the monster which we endure today. The people have the power to cage that monster. However, extremely few recognize and utilize those powers. We will be maintaining strict rules of conduct when we are on the air and ask that all callers do the same. This is an educational show, and we desire that children are able to listen to the discussion here without fear of being offended with foul or hateful language. So please feel free to send a chat message or call into the show. We would love to hear from you. Hello, people of the States. This is Harry. Welcome to the show. Whether you're a live beating heart listening to it live or whether you're listening to the archives, welcome to the show. We don't have a lot set up for tonight. Hoping some people call in or chat in. Open forum. I may just get a break this weekend. It's not guaranteed yet, but may just get a break this weekend and put together some time that I can spend on the preamble. Whether or not I'll be ready for that next week, we'll see what happens this weekend. I don't know if Paul's ready. He just wanted to give some instructions on where he prefers comments sent. If you're on Facebook, and if Paul wants to come on, he can click the button and come on and give his little explanation now or give it later. It's up to him. Unless we get some callers in, I'm going to probably just kind of... Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Harry, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Harry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. My headset's screwed up. Okay, there I go. Yeah, I just made a post on the Facebook page saying that this will be the post to ask questions, comment for tonight's show, 12/5/18. So people are listening. Go to the U.S. Constitution Explained in children's terms and look for that post. It got the nice magenta background. If you got questions, if you can't get into the chat room, then you can ask us questions there because we'll be monitoring that.
And I don't think that's quite working yet. And I've talked to the people at Blog Talk. They said they got their engineers working on it. They don't know when that'll be working. Now, that message from Paul is for our Facebook listeners that are members of our group, which is an open group. Anybody can join. I'm actually monitoring the Blog Talk site where if you're on Blog Talk listening and down below it says comments, I'm monitoring that from my end. So.
And I would suggest so that we're not. Hey, hold on. Those are just my dogs.
That's all right. I'll just edit it out. No big deal.
Hold on.
All right. So I'm not sure what else Paul had to add. If he comes.
Oh. All right. Hold on, Harry. Let me get them settled down. You go ahead and talk.
Okay. I'm going to bring up my Facebook page on a screen that I have a little bit of room on. Let's see here. I got a couple screens going here. Until we get some people calling in with some things to talk on tonight, I'm going to go over some of the...
I'm back.
Doesn't sound like you got them under control yet.
Well, this is a good mic. It picks up everything.
Yeah, that's true. It does. It does. Were you? Yeah, you were done. Unless you had something else to say, Paul.
No. What I wanted to say was that. Sean Watson wants this link to the show all of a sudden.
Don't tell me we still don't have this stuff working.
Can you send him the link? Or, well, does he need the link or does he need the call-in number? I'm going to give him the call-in.
Is he listening right now?
No, he's busy and he forgot. I'm just going to send him the call-in number. So, we're on the air, and now all of a sudden they want the information.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sending him
I sent him the number.
And I'm also sending him a link that I think will work. It's a long link. My goodness. I wouldn't want to have to memorize that thing. But the one that
he wants the internet. He wants the Blog Talk link.
So he can listen.
Yeah, it says his phone's dead, so he wants the web.
Okay, well I just sent him a PM that it should work. It's a long link, but it should work.
Oh wait, I got it right here. Copy link.
Yeah, I know I got a shorter link for the show.
Hold on. I got
he just thumbs up me, so he'll let us know if he gets on or not.
All right, I'll send it. I'll send the one I just did. The TOBTR.
Oh, he said it worked. He said it worked. What I sent him worked.
All right.
So we're past that.
We're past that.
Well, anyway, I'm going to get to talking. Yeah, go ahead. You got something to say?
No. The thing I wanted to say is that we're going to do the Facebook post so you can comment and chat. I would suggest that people don't use the Blog Talk Radio comment on the show information page because we want to try to keep all the questions consolidated into one area. So that, therefore, if you're listening to an archive, then you're not jumping around. Well, this question came from this section. This question came from there.
Yeah.
So
now, however, when they do bring up the archive on Blog Talk, it does show previous content. But I like your idea, at least our Facebook friends, of keeping the conversation on the page, and that's what you're trying to accomplish, correct?
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I can understand the Blog Talk Radio chat room, but if you're commenting and asking questions on the Blog Talk Radio show page, then somebody listening back to this may not understand where or who asked the question. Maybe if we're on Facebook post and you can see the questions, you like their questions, and you just find out who they are. You can hey, maybe that's somebody you want a friend request. I don't know, so we can.
Yeah. And at the same time, it furthers the conversation, so they can add to the conversation already going. But don't let that let that discourage anybody that's just watching it on Blog Talk and aren't in our Facebook group to comment on the blog site, Blog Talk, because I'm watching that. What else?
Right, and David Allen just posted on the Facebook page.
And what did he say?
Section. He said, try to comment on Blog Talk comment section, but it wouldn't work. Commenting here makes more sense.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I think that, and like I say, that carries the conversation further on. And
Well,
I'm not.
It also consolidates the conversation and helps grow the community.
Yes. And anybody
right,
that's
Harry,
not anybody that's not our Facebook friend in our group, I'm pretty sure if you just go to Facebook and type in the U.S. Constitution Explained, it'll probably already come up, but the full name of the group is the U.S. Constitution Explained in Children's Terms, the radio show. It's pretty much an open one. At the worst case, it asks me to approve, but I don't not approve anybody from joining that group. So yeah, if you go there and want to join up with us on Facebook, we'd love the company.
All right, Terry, I'm going to turn it over to you. You start talking about what you want, and then I'll jump back in.
And then we'll see if we get some callers or some comments.
Sean, borrow your wife's phone, and you can call in.
Anyway, I was going to page through some of my activity on Facebook and just kind of go over some of the things I've been involved with there over the last few days. Let's see here. One of the things that I've explained, and I'll keep explaining, about the 14th Amendment. Many will say the 14th Amendment wasn't legally ratified, or they'll say, let me see if I can bring up how it was mentioned to me today. And the words were, the 14th was ratified by law, not law of the Constitution, USA, prior to the Civil War, but by law of the new 1871 corporate U.S. after martial law. That is so wrong. Forced the states to rewrite their Constitution to comply with new corp U.S. But you know that, so I just put it in there for everyone else that didn't know. Sure, there are things that happened in 1871. There are things that have happened every year since the implementation of the 14th Amendment. You can't pick just one. Sure, there was acts of Congress in 1871 that changed this, changed that. There was things happening in 1913, all the way up to the Patriot Act of, I think it was 2001. Doesn't make them legal. Doesn't make them lawful. So to say that the 14th Amendment was ratified by law, well, the 14th Amendment took place in 1868. How could it be ratified by law in 1871? And I'll read my answer to him on that. It's the best way to do is just read it rather than ramble on it. There are no provisions in the Constitution established for the United States to ratify an amendment unlawfully. Yes, due to the ignorance of the masses, the unlawful governments occupy the elected seats. That does not change the fact that the original construct is still law of the land. The people of the states have not knowingly surrendered the original document for the reconstructed one. If they had, they would know what I'm talking about. It would be taught in the schools. We are not taught in the schools that in 1867, on March 2nd, the Congress, the 39th Congress, actually annulled the governments of the 10 states that would not agree to ratify the 14th Amendment. They sent the military, and we were taught they were just these businessmen, scallywags, and carpetbaggers that went into the southern states. No, the military went into the southern states, removed the lawfully elected governments from those 10 states, and then they'll use the words, the 14th Amendment was ratified. No, it was implemented. Those states did not freely choose to accept the 14th Amendment. They did not freely choose to be U.S. citizens instead of citizens of their states. They did not choose to be put under the jurisdiction of the Congress. So that's that.
Harry, can I jump in real quick?
Oh, I hope so. That's what you're there for.
Well, tonight's general discussion, open forum, until we get into the nitty-gritty next week. I want to quash a patriot myth that you just mentioned, most commonly known as the Act of 1871.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute. You take over for a while. I'm gonna sit back and listen.
All right. The Act of 1871 holds no water in the patriot myth or actual events. All the Act did was consolidate and amend the Act of 1803, the D.C. Organic Act of 1803, to take there were 4 districts in the D.C. area. I don't have those. One was Alexandria, one was Georgetown, one was I can't remember the other names. But all it did was to unify all those separate districts in the D.C. area into one amalgamated District of Columbia. And the Act of 1871 just provided for a new government. And I've got a clipping of an article from the Brooklyn Eagle 1870 where, and I can put that on the page, it says that the people of D.C. are petitioning Congress for a new form of government. That was for the people of D.C., of that area. Now, in the Act of 1871 was implemented, and it was put into place, and it did create a municipal corporation. It was not a federal corporation. It was not a state corporation. And until people understand what a corporation is, it is not Nike. It's not Reebok. It's not Goodyear. It's not IBM. Those are all private corporations. A public corporation, if you actually look at the definitions and don't go to freedictionary.com or use Google or this or that, go to Bouvier's Law, 1856, and look at all the different kinds of corporations there are. It's a body of men united under a name for a specific purpose. That's all it is. Congress is a corporation because it's a body of men of the several states united for a specific purpose. Now, in 1874, President Grant abolished the Act of 1871 because the people of D.C. and the government thereof misappropriated selling bonds for a road tax, or not a road tax, a road contract. And they sold these bonds, and when they got the money to build the roads for D.C., then it came up saying, well, what kind of roads are they going to be? So they sold the bonds and misappropriated the money, and therefore Grant had to abolish the government because it was insolvent. And he did, so therefore it was under temporary jurisdiction of the Congress until 1877, 78. After that, till they could put in a new form of governance for the municipality of D.C. First of all, D.C. is not the United States. D.C. is where the United States is seated. Just like your capital of your state, that is not the state. Austin here in Texas is not Texas. It's just where our state legislature sits. So we have to get rid of this idea that D.C. is government. It's not. It's just where government is placed. If the entire Congress and the Senate and the President went to a vacation spot, in, Salt Lake City, but they had a meeting, then that would be the United States and Congress assembled. So the Act of 1871 is a misnomer, and people need to actually do the research and quit listening to YouTube videos and getting distracted by the facts. So, anyway, I'm going to bring Sean in now. Mr. Watson, can you hear me? Said Alexander Granville. Go ahead.
Yep, I just wanted to let you know my phone. Sorry, my phone's only getting up to charging like 60%. I'm about to throw it in the trash can. But anyway, finally here,
Okay.
As far as the Act of 1871, I don't know how people are missing it, but, that deal got repealed because the D.C. local government was corrupt from the get-go, and it got repealed in 1874.
Sean, let me jump in here something real quick, and then you absolutely continue. I just wanted to throw one thing out there to add to what Paul just said. People should be far more fearful of the 23rd Amendment. And you got to wonder, well, this is all done under the 14th Amendment government, so it doesn't surprise you the things that they might manage to actually put into law. So what the actual lawful Article 5 I can't think of the right word. Article 5 procedure of ratifying this amendment. I don't know. I can't give you the history on it. We'll probably get to it someday. But Amendment 23 says the district constituting the seat of government of the United States shall appoint in such manner as Congress may direct a number of electors of president and vice president equal to the whole number of senators or representatives in Congress. But a new event.
Because that's because the district is not a state.
Now, like I say, I'm not up to that amendment to really know it real well. Didn't that amendment also give them representation in Congress?
That's what that's saying.
Well, it's saying it's the district is a number of electors of president and vice president, a whole number of senators to represent in Congress to which the district would be entitled to if they were a state. Thank you. I should have just read the next sentence instead of mumbling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no,
people should be far more. Let me finish real quick, and then I'm back off, and then you and Sean take it back. People should be far more fearful of that amendment because that piece of planet was not supposed to have any say in the Congress. The Congress was supposed to be everybody except that piece of property. Making Washington, D.C. statehood class is far more scary than what Paul just explained on the corporation. And I stuttered a lot there, and hopefully I got my point across. You guys take it from there.
Okay, they had to give representation to D.C. because it was growing rapidly, and therefore you would have, under the 14th Amendment, disenfranchised voters. So therefore, the Congress had to allow some form of representation in the Electoral College process in D.C. for those people. You've got road workers, you've got sanitary workers, you've got maids, you got your service utility people, other than the representatives in Congress assembled.
Well, under the original intent, did the framers ever expect there to be people to take up residency within the seat of the government? I mean, people shouldn't be living there, if you ask me.
Well, but see,
it's only 10 miles. It's only 10 miles. People can travel in and out.
No, but the 14th Amendment changed the aspect of who could vote. Go ahead, Sean.
In fact, D.C. was the only place prior to the 14th Amendment that you were a United States citizen. When the senators, the congressmen, everybody went to, and served, in D.C. there, they were temporarily United States citizens.
Okay. I'm glad you clarified that.
And that's where they got it. And you got to remember, too, is that, this D.C. government, it's for United States citizens under the 14th Amendment now, but you also got to remember that it's also for U.S. nationals that are, say, like over in Puerto Rico, for example, and the individual territories, they're under completely different, they don't have all the privileges and immunities we can call them privileges. They're not really privileges. For, as 14th Amendment citizens, U.S. nationals, or for instance, they can't vote in, federal elections, for instance. Like in Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands and so forth, So the D.C. government kind of runs that, even though they do have their own, local representatives of sorts,
And I would just like to say, had the 14th Amendment not been implemented, that would probably still be something in contention today, because, the only people that could vote were landowners, and the 14th Amendment gave everybody, the 14th and the 15th, gave everybody the right to vote.
Yeah, where the have-nots outweigh the people that do have.
Right.
But we have to remember, though. We have to remember, though, under Republican form of government, you're not running to the polls to vote in law. You're not running to the polls to vote in taxes. A constitutional Republican form of government, the governments just aren't doing that much for the people. So it's not everybody's business who's votes in. And really, let's say postal roads, where the postal roads should be. I've got no problem with only the landowners, only the people that have a postal address, being the one being the ones voting, and especially if they're the ones paying the bill after it comes through. So we have to remember what the powers were that were granted when there was only landowners, because we didn't have landowners voting whether marijuana was legal or not, or how the schools are. Go ahead.
Yeah, but today you've got, if under the proper constitutional systems that the right to vote was, it's bad to say, is landowners, because they had a stake in the United States of America, because they held a piece of it. But then you got now you got your your scallywags that are vagrants on the street, and they got the right to vote to dictate to government by their vote what the landowners can do with their property.
Yeah.
Right. Well, pre-14th Amendment, it was common law. It wasn't a bunch of. I mean, there was statutes. Don't get me wrong, but there wasn't this massive influx of statute code that we see now.
But was there statute?
All these things like whether marijuana is to be legal or not. This wasn't even a thing.
John. But was there statutes at the state level dictating to the communities?
No, it was a community statute code. Like, for instance, if
Thank you.
one town was German, those people that came from Germany still had some of their traditional, laws and their cultures. They were cultural laws. They weren't, whether this person can have a plan or not.
And they could live in that. They could live in that town voluntarily and move out if they didn't like it and find a town that wasn't that way.
That was the entire point. If you didn't like one place,
Republican. That was Republican form of government.
Right.
That's what Republican form of government is.
But now, anywhere in the United States, you can't really escape from all these statute codes anymore.
Nope.
Because today we've got this concept that was ingrained to our minds in the indoctrination school, that we are one big melting pot. Well, guess what? We're melted, and now we're just congealed.
Light the fire, Paul. Light the fire.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think very much of this multiculturalism and this diversity. Diversity is, everybody champions it, right, left, whatever have you. But it's really bad because it goes right back to the Communist Manifesto. It really does. It's the destruction of tradition and culture.
Yeah. Especially if it's forced. What was the word you just said?
Multicultural.
Multiculturalism?
Yeah, especially if it's forced rather than voluntary. You want a voluntary community that's that way, fine, but you don't come over in my town and tell me to be the same as you.
Well, that's the problem. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
It makes the
And
same.
they have been.
Yep.
Was that the whole purpose of Salt Lake City and the Mormonism? You know, they wanted their own style of thing, and now they think they're Mormons, but they still vote.
Yes,
You might be more versed in that subject than me.
No, I'm not. But I mean, it's just observation.
Well, after their leader, Joseph Smith,
I thought it was Brigham Young.
He got killed. You know, they started, and they threw some. I mean, they were literally kicked out, murdered, the whole 9 yards. You'd figure Mormons out of anybody would have a little bit, more hatred for these government officials than just about anybody, because they were persecuted.
Yeah, well,
they
that's
ran
it.
out of Illinois, and Ohio, and all up in there.
Oh, Ohio, Harry's country.
Oh man, you keep blaming me on being Ohio. You just can't quite get it right, do you? You need to get a GPS.
Ohio never got it straight from the.
Ohio/Michigan.
Yeah, there you go.
Ohio couldn't get their act together to become a state until 1956.
Yeah.
No.
And I think everything that Ohio did, God bless those people that thought they were part of the United States, but all their judges and their representatives and everything else that enacted law, I think those should all be null and void.
Since it wasn't until 1956, then when they made marijuana, for instance, illegal back in like the 30s, that's null and void, right?
Yep,
It doesn't exist.
That's right. Not to mention Supreme Court justices that were from Ohio that sat on the bench and everything else.
So technically, everything's null.
Yep. I mean, this is how screwed up this country is. And all they did.
They're going to consent to it, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we're just going to act like it existed."
Which country are you talking about?
Huh?
Paul? You mean
what?
You mean these countries? You mean these countries, right?
Well, yeah, these countries.
See, you gotta get the words straight, man. We're trying to teach people the right language to be using.
Oh, All right, Harry, you come on down to Texas here, and you lay 30 posts in a day with Sean and me, and tell me how tired you're going to be at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you what I've done in the last 3 weeks? The whole list?
You sat. Oh. You sat on your back underneath a car in a shop.
Yeah, right. I got lifts, remember?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I don't want to know what kind of shoes you wear.
Oh boy, I tower over you already. Why would I wear lifts?
I don't know. What's her name?
I was talking about U.S. Nationals a while ago, and thought just occurred to me. These people are still falling for that. So much that they're trying to make their own, fake governments and everything. I just don't get it. The word national on its own has become a de facto term. You find it, Title 18 within the United States Code, for instance. And you try to tell these people that, and the reason why I'm saying something is because you brought up the Act of 1871 earlier, Paul.
No, Harry did.
There's just. Oh, okay, my bad.
I brought it up. I brought it up from somebody else's comment. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to put it on the record.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's so many myths out there. I don't even know how to combat them all. Sometimes, you can debunk them, but people, I guess I need to go talk to my private attorney general. Yeah.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. Here's what's happening. Today, more and more people are waking up, and more and more people are, going to Google, going to YouTube, and what we're finding, I think, is that the newbies waking up are seeing these Patriot mythology videos that we can't get, we can't keep fighting it over and over. We can't, keep dispelling it. It's just that more and more people are waking up and they're seeing this and they're gullible. They don't know how to do their own research and due diligence. I mean, this is how I started. Sure, I started believing that stuff years ago. But then when I started getting into my own research and reading the congressional record, which people need to do at certain points in time to research this stuff, and then you find the truth. Right now, people are watching videos of people that don't do their due diligence because they're conspiracy theorists. They glom on to one point in time, and then they make this whole story up because they didn't follow through on that actual event. Okay, this happened here. What happened down the road with this? Not just...
Right. They're not going after the actual source.
Right. And we got somebody typing in, Harry...
Well, David Allen said he would try to make a comment on the Blog Talk comment section, but it wouldn't work. So,
well, maybe he was trying to comment about, that, he can hear us or he likes this or what. I don't know. Huh? David Allen, make a comment or call in.
You got the number to throw out at him? I think I do. I'm gonna say, I got it.
Well, yeah, it's 516-595-8117.
Yep.
And at least he could give us a thumbs up that, and now he commented. Give us a thumbs up that you're liking what you're hearing.
Well, I hope I covered the 14th good enough temporary for you, David, the false ratification of it. But we got a lot more coming. And when we get to that 14th Amendment, that might be about a 4-night show. There's just so much to cover. I'm hoping to get John Ainsworth on when we're that far.
Yeah, David Allen. I don't know if you've seen the America's Remedy video called Original Nullification. I can post that in there.
Do it. Pop it in there.
Because that's that pretty much succinctly will answer all your questions.
Reconstruction for a month,
Yeah.
And Harry.
Sean, that would be 4 weeks.
Yeah. Once you get John Ainsworth started, you can't, stop him.
If he wants to put me on vacation for 2 or 3 months and take over this radio show, he's welcome to it.
David Allen, watch that video.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not right now. We got
not right now. Yeah, you're busy here. Yeah, you're busy here. Yeah. Paul and I and Sean and many others have been at this for a long time. None of us have come up with a better solution than what America's Remedy has put together. None of us have come up with a better solution. Paul, do you know the particulars to the case at the Supreme Court level, or it's been they've put it to the Supreme Court level? What about a case that the Supreme Court won't listen to? What do you know about that?
For North Carolina.
Okay, talk to us.
All right. The only thing I know, it went to state Supreme Court, and they wouldn't hear it. You got to go through the state. You got to go through the state Supreme before you can get to federal.
What particulars do you know?
You're gonna have to ask John that one, or Cliff.
Okay. Well, the listeners will just have to tune in when he's on. That's all there is to it.
Oh, hold on. Sean may know something.
they pretty much wrote a book. I mean, just to even have an attempt for the Supreme Court to hear you, you pretty much have to write a book. John did show me that. Of course, I didn't have enough time to sit down and go through it all. I believe John's got the book as far as I know.
Well, if Cliff or Milo are listening in, if they want to call in and chime in on that subject, that'd be great. As we sit here patiently waiting for that call.
And I'm flipping through everything and make sure I'm not missing any comments anywhere.
It's not easy keeping track of all this, is it?
No, but that's why I went out and found a homeless man and promised him fame if he joined me on the radio.
Oh, well, I'm partially homeless.
I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you.
All right, so we might as well talk about the 14th, and John, if he comes on, can fill in some of the blanks or extrapolate on it. Sean and Cliff have been tearing up the Facebook the last few days about some new material that's been posted on the 14th, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, Sean.
Oh, well, one of them, was, the PDF I got, the 14th Amendment in the States. Excellent book. Highly recommend reading it. Quite a few different books on
what's the name of that?
Amendment.
Paul, type that
the
in.
14th Amendment in the States.
Okay, Sean, do you have the link for that?
I'm sitting out in the truck right now.
All right, what was the name of it?
I'm not on y'all's chat anyway.
Well.
Just you should be able to look it right up. The 14th Amendment in the States.
Okay, well, I got a bunch of windows open right now watching the show and everything else.
I got the PDF.
All right, well, if you want
to the group or
yeah, put it in the group after the show. Harry, one thing I wanted to say about the group is that we don't have a file section.
What?
I can't find a file section on the Facebook page.
You mean file, F-I-L-E?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every group's got one.
Let's get one there.
We can do that. Maybe recommended, books or something like that as well within the file section.
Yeah, that way it's not going into a post and gets lost. If people can go to the files and look at what we're doing, and then you can put the radio shows in the file.
So the name of that book was The 14th Amendment and the States?
And the States.
In the States? I-N?
And the States.
Yeah.
A-N-D.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming up with a bunch of stuff from www.law.cornell. Okay.
I'll be back.
Check them out. Bring them in if you have to check them out.
And then Ryan Reinhold.
He's back.
How you doing? Yeah, I tried to catch the first of the show, and I sat and listened to about a half an hour, and then I realized that I was listening to a show from 4 weeks ago.
Nice.
So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Mostly 14th Amendment stuff, and it's an open forum, really. Hey, so I don't forget while you're on, I'm glad you called in, because when I was, and you got your volume up on your speaker too much, I'm catching a little bit of feedback.
I'm sorry about that.
That's right. When I was listening to last week's show and editing things, getting it ready to actually post it, I caught something you said that I didn't catch when you said it. When we were...
No, go in. Go in.
Let me get on there and...
Go in.
I didn't know if I had to mute you out there, Paul.
I'm sorry. I accidentally stepped on Chucky's foot.
When you were mentioning, when we were discussing Chris Ann Hall, and you mentioned that you listened to her, and you mentioned a college online. Were you talking about Hillsdale College?
Yeah. Yep. That was it.
Well, I have been kicked off of every chat group from Hillsdale College every time because I keep repeating the same question and they refuse to answer it. And the question is real simple. What clause in the U.S. Constitution as ratified grants the power to Congress to create law enforceable upon the individual? Every time I ask them, and I insist, and they try to change the subject, and then they finally block me from their chat groups.
Well,
nobody. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, then now we have to probably do the proper thing is, and as John Ainsworth said, we are a truth movement. We are not, anarchy or a radical movement, and we're just trying to get to the truth. Is to overwhelm them with the same question from different points.
Go for it. Everybody listening to this show, ask Hillsdale College which clause in the original Constitution granted the Congress in assembly the power to legislate upon the individual. That's the $1 million question. There is no clause. That's why I can offer that.
I'm not on any other chat group. So.
Yeah, I joined several of them just to ask that question, and they will not give me an answer.
Harry, why don't you make a post and put the links that you were associated with in there if you still have them?
Yeah, it's been more than a year since I even tried that with them.
Oh, a year! Oh my God!
You think why? You think they've changed in the meantime?
Who knows? Who knows?
They might have. I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it. Well, Ryan, what brings you by today? Got anything special to share with us?
No, not particularly. I just thought I'd call in and see what you guys were talking about tonight since I missed the first half hour or so listening to an old show.
Well, for the first half hour, we were talking about you.
Yep. You were talking about me?
Yes, it's a good thing you were hearing
it. You were going, there's that dummy again.
Careful, Paul. If I understand right, Ryan's pretty well stocked. Maybe no. What's the right word for?
Well armed.
He's definitely a second. He's armed. There you go. That's the word I couldn't think of.
No, that's a good thing.
I not anymore. I lost them all in a boating accident. It was really tragic. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I've lost. I don't have any firearms anymore, as far as you know.
Oh, okay. I started slowing down as I was saying that, going, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. I think.
Hey, Harry, I sent that PDF to you.
Yeah, I heard the blink. Now, why didn't I go to it when I clicked on it?
Was that Sean?
Yeah.
All right.
Why didn't it open it?
Is that Sean Watson on there?
What's that?
Yep, that's me.
Is that Sean Watson on there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just commented a little bit on one of your Facebook posts about conservatives supporting gun control. What?
Yeah.
Where was it something specific, or is this the bump stock bill you're talking about? Or?
Well, it's regarding mainly the bump stocks, and all I'm seeing is all the people that are totally about Trump and everything, whether conservative or whatever, all of them, they're like, oh, it's fine, bump stocks suck anyway, blah, blah. But what I'm trying to point out is that any infringement is still an infringement.
Right.
What's next? Take the flashlights away? I mean, you can't have a 20-round mag, 30-round mag anymore. They do it little by little by little, and that's how this government has been operating for the past 150 years.
the most effective way to disarm a population is to regulate them little by little and let them sink under their own weight. And that's not an exact quote.
Yes, sir.
I forget who said it, but it's absolutely true. And
can you imagine if Obama would have done it? You know, everybody would be flipping out.
Oh, they would have been flipping out. Well, and you got to also realize that when they introduce these bills, it's never cut and dry. It's never just bump stocks. There's wording in those bills that ban hundreds of other products. You know, it's wording such as you know, any device that will increase the rate of fire. Well, find that exactly. Any device that will increase the rate of fire. That a trigger. Any trigger will increase the rate of fire. Do you know what I mean? So you really got to be careful when you support any of those bills. And as a matter of fact, I've got several organizations I'm working with right now that we're trying to write up a petition and get a bunch of people to sign it. We've got senators and whatnot that will hand deliver it straight to President Trump and tell him not to sign it.
The amazing thing is that we just can't seem to get people to understand one thing. The Bill of Rights in its infancy did not apply to the people. It had nothing to do with the individual owning or not owning a weapon. It only applied to what the powers the federal government had within the states in legislative powers. If we could only get to them understand the 14th Amendment is what not only put the people under the jurisdiction of the Congress, now those rights applied to the individual, and now those rights were in the hands of the Congress. They weren't in the hands of the Congress before the 14th Amendment. If the 14th Amendment wasn't there, we wouldn't even need to have this conversation at a national level.
Actually, the 14th Amendment put the people under the power of Congress, and the Congress had the right to legislate civil rights to the people. And if you look at the terminology, the Second Amendment does not apply to 14th Amendment citizens, period. If you look at the wording of the Second Amendment, it's the right to keep and bear arms. Arms are not defined. Now, if you look at all the legislation that's coming out under the 14th Amendment to the U.S. citizen, it mentions firearms. Now, if you go to Title 26, U.S.C. 5845, there is a long list of the definition of what a firearm is. And actually, it is not anything that we hold in respect today to what we think is a gun.
Okay. You going to go further on that?
Yeah, I can.
You got to elaborate a little bit there.
Well,
yeah.
All right. A firearm is any rifle or shotgun with a barrel length of less than 26 inches. Any revolver with a smooth bore. Anything that can fire a shot. It is, it's compare what those definitions are with what we have today. It's like the same as a car. A car, you can go buy a car, and unless you submit it to the state and saying it's a motor vehicle, well, you're doing the same thing with guns. You're buying it and then going to the state to ask for permission to have it, and you're redefining what you're using it for.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to the state and ask. That right there tells you that it's not a right; it's a privilege. If you have to ask permission from the government to practice a so-called right, it's no longer a right.
No, you're going
to ask permission. They can deny you that permission.
No, you're going to the government to under false presumption to exercise a liberty. Okay, I'm not going to use the word right on this one, because it was already declared that it's a liberty under the federal Constitution is declared a liberty under your state Constitution. And Ryan, what state are you in?
I'm in Utah.
Utah. Okay. Have you read your Utah Constitution?
Yes, I have.
And have you looked through the Declaration of Rights in your state Constitution?
Yes, I have.
And is the right to keep and bear arms in there?
It is, but it is, and I forget the exact wording on it, but it's something to the effect of the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and may be used for traditionally lawful purposes, but, and they put the word "but" in there, and this is.
But the legislature can exercise the right to control it, right?
But the legislature reserves the right to define the term traditionally lawful purposes, and that,
all right.
So they put that word "but" right in our Constitution, and I forget exactly what article it is. It's like Article 3, Section 2, or Clause 2, or something like that.
Okay, but it has to be, those declaration rights have to be in there. Your Constitution is actually a post-Civil War de facto Constitution, because it's after, your state became a state after the 14th Amendment Reconstruction Acts.
Okay.
All right, but look at the wording. The right of the people. They're talking about the people of your state. Right now, you have no people of your state because all your people in those states are persons under the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. Persons and people are two different things.
Hey, Paul, can I cut in just real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For instance, our Texas Constitution of 1876, of course, de facto post-Civil War era. Article 1, Section 23, okay, and I'm just going to quote it real quick. Every citizen shall have the right to keep and bear arms in the lawful defense of himself or the state. But the legislature shall have the power by law to regulate the wearing of arms with a view to prevent crime. See what they did there? Basically, they said, we're going to be able to legislate anything we want because safety. See what they did?
There's a police
Most
powers
of these de
act.
facto constitutions work in a similar fashion.
Right.
And that, Sean, that's exactly the way the Utah Constitution reads as well. I mean, it's slightly different wording, but they have that word "but," those three little letters, B-U-T, in there. The legislation reserves the right to define traditionally lawful purposes. And so they did the exact same thing here in Utah. They basically said, yeah, you can have a gun if we say you can, as long as you're using it for what we say you're allowed to use it for.
All right, now here's the big kicker on all this. All right, those are your state constitutions. So the legislature has the right to define how you keep, bear it, use it, whatever. So why the hell is the federal government dictating the states if we're supposed to have a Republican form of government?
They shouldn't be.
So, that's right.
That's exactly
So
it right there. The federal government has, Article 1, Section 8 tells the federal government what they have, what delegated powers they have. And by the word delegated, that specifically means that the state can take those powers back from them anytime they want because they were given to the federal government, the central government, to act on our behalf, right?
Right.
They have the power to levy war, conclude peace, form treaties, and I forget what other. There's only 2 or 3 more that were delegated to the federal government. Anything else, all other powers are reserved to the to the states or to the people. It says it right there in the Constitution. I think it's Amendment 10 or 9 or 10. Right there in our Bill of Rights.
No, don't say our Bill of Rights, because it's not ours. That's right. I mean, everybody keeps saying our Constitution, our this, our that. You know, it's like, no, that's theirs. That's, it's, who we've elected to go do that stuff. Our Constitution is our state constitution. Our rights are within the state, because the Bill of Rights is supposed to protect us from the federal government. If we were truly lawful state citizens, not U.S. citizens residing within the state.
And that brings up what I was going to make sure I mention tonight too. Another thing on Facebook, and actually, I believe the first place I posted this comment was on Sean's share of somebody else. But I've done it. I saw this same posting on Facebook in several places, and I did the same correction below. And the posting it says, and it's by the federalistblog.us, people who are, are going to talk like they know what the real Constitution is, and then name their group that, and then they say things wrong. They said the U.S. Constitution only delegates the power over immigration or asylum to the states. That statement is so wrong. The U.S. Constitution only delegates the power over immigration or asylum to the states. The proper way to say that is the states, through the U.S. Constitution, delegate no power over immigration or asylum to the United States, the Congress.
I'll admit that for the last 150 years, ever since this travesty happened, is that the whole context of this has gotten so muddled that we're still trying to get through it so that we can bring actual history to light.
Yep.
Not, and not these suppositions. Because people are looking at, little snippets in time and going, aha, and then making false presumptions because they didn't follow through on their research. A researcher will spend a lifetime looking at one point in time to find out what the truth is, other than just looking at it and say, ooh, these words said this, so this means that. I mean, how many years did it take them? How many years did it take them to de-encrypt the Rosetta Stone?
Yep. It's like this huge ball of twisted, tangled fishing line that you're trying to unravel. Is what it is.
And you can't find the original end to start unraveling it with.
You're right.
And Harry, the main reason why I was putting that up, and especially Justice Marshall's words as well, is the fact that all these people are begging Trump, and okay, first of all, everybody's like, oh, Sean, you're a liberal now. No, I bashed Clinton, I bashed Reagan, I bashed Bush, and, I'm bashed Obama, and I'm bashing Trump now, it's like I'm consistent here. But anyway,
Reagan, you weren't even out of diapers yet with Reagan.
No, I remember him well. I remember his war on drugs too. But I remember him boosting up the police state like crazy. Anyway, the main reason why I was putting that up, I'm like, you guys are begging this all-powerful, unlawful centralized government. But what you don't realize is that on immigration, like most things, it was left up to the states. Not that these de facto governors are going to do anything, but on immigration, the individual states, they're the ones to allow, or not allow certain people, whatever that may be, in.
Yeah. And hey,
it's not up to Trump.
That posting was right on. The premise was correct. But I find we have to change our language. And it's important to say that kind of thing correctly.
I didn't write it, keep in mind.
I know. The premise for that article was right on. It's just we got to push for people changing their language, because if they don't change their language, people won't understand the difference between what was supposed to be and what is.
That's why we have... Go ahead.
People don't even know the difference between federal and national, for crying out loud.
I know it. You know what sickens me is ever since I've known that, not one person in public, and it's not because they know better, it just hasn't happened yet, in public has told me about a federal law where I can look at them and say there is no such thing as federal law. The federal government had no power to create law. You mean national law. This so happens in months. Nobody's said anything to me about a federal law where I can correct them.
And sometimes if you look on how congressmen or senators or even the president talks, sometimes he'll use the word federal and sometimes he'll use the word national.
It's the same thing to them. They don't.
To them,
it's
the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, there's not a difference. There's no distinction.
To them.
No distinction there. Whatever, I can't.
Yep.
Well, when you hear them use the word national security, they're talking about their little conclave.
When the general population uses the words federal or national, they're talking about the same thing. They're talking about what is perceived to be this country.
They believe it is, Paul. They believe it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's the general population. I'm talking about the actual people at the top that are supposed elected representatives.
Well, notice they all call it a democracy, and they're not lying.
No, this is.
It might be the only truthful thing that they've actually hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because
it's their democracy because Congress operates on majority rule.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're just citizens of their democracy.
Maybe you are.
No. Oh.
Harry caught that one, didn't you, Harry?
I did. But I'm not going to speak up because I'm still legally a slave. So.
Yep. So.
I can't comment too much on that.
Yeah, and Sean, some of us here in Texas still are because we haven't filed the final paperwork.
Yeah. True that.
I need to release my.
Harry, I finally did get completely done with the declaration, by the way. All on my lonesome,
cool.
But I did it.
Cool. Did you want me to read it and see if there's any more "it's" in there?
Milo is one hell of an editor, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Good.
He's a word master, man. I'm telling you.
And Ryan, I don't know if have you followed any of America's Revenue stuff yet?
I have briefly reviewed it, but no.
Okay.
I have looked at the website, but I haven't got really into it at all.
All right. Well, you're in Utah, and if you get further into it and start understanding what they're saying, we here in Texas, Sean and myself, we've already got Sean, about half the paperwork done to reestablish the state lawfully.
I'm gonna say more than that because the affidavit's only 2 pages.
Yeah.
And we're not too far from being done with it in reality. By the time our next event happens, which will probably be in the spring, say March probably, we'll have it done, all of it.
That's fine. All I'm saying, Ryan, is, you're taking an interest and you're in your state of Utah that if if this gets under your skin and you want to start making headway in your state, because anybody can do this, you just have to take the everybody talks about a leader, right? Well, the leader's not the one you elect. The leader's the one that's going to stand up and get shit done. Oh, sorry, Harry.
Edit.
Hey,
give me one of them little
Paul,
papers or
Paul,
something.
start that sentence all over, and I'll edit it like it never happened.
That's what I was about to do. Hey, Brian, if you get this bug under your skin, and everybody wants a leader, but the leader is the one that steps up and gets stuff done. Okay, it's not an elected official. It's not at the polls. No, it's the one that stands up and says, "Hey, people, this is what we need to do." Then we can get North Carolina, and we here in Texas, we can walk you through it and help you get established.
Yeah.
How would you like to be the next governor of Utah, Ryan?
No, I don't actually.
Well, you don't have to be. All you have to be is the guy pulling the strings of the governor, the puppet governor you elect.
Right. Well, I've already been pulling Governor Gary Herbert's strings just on a personal level, talking to him, and they just had a big vote on Prop 2. It's our medical marijuana law, and Utah State, the legislators stepped in and basically rewrote the whole thing, overrode the popular vote that the people voted for and voted for this Prop 2, and now they're rewording it, putting their own spin on the whole thing. And don't
forget, we're not talking about replacing the de facto governor of Utah.
Exactly.
We're talking about being the provisional governor, the provisional de jure governor of Utah.
See, I'm still trying to get the de facto governor of Utah to understand that he just simply by being the governor of Utah, he has more power than POTUS, than the
well, of
president.
course, but Utah.
But he doesn't know that.
If he's anything like the de facto governor down here, there's no chance.
Yeah, and Utah was created as a de facto state. It was never an original republic.
Utah is a 14th Amendment government. Utah is a 14th Amendment government. So he does not have more power. Utah is under the jurisdiction of the Congress.
Period. You never had an original 13th. All right, let's look at how many states were created prior to the 14th Amendment. All right, we had the original 13, and Texas was a republic that came into the United States in 1846. And Sean, how many more states were created? Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida.
So what about equal footing?
Well, the equal footing clause.
What clause are we talking about?
State that enters in.
No, the equal footing clause can apply. The problem is that Utah never came in under equal footing because their first constitution was written for a de facto style of government with the connotation of equal footing.
So it's the remedy. What is the remedy for that, then?
But you can still, even with that, still reestablish if you have state citizens within Utah.
Well, would it be called reestablishment because they were never established under equal footing with the original 13? Therefore,
getting into an area. Honestly, John Ainsworth would be the one to talk on that one. I've been wondering that myself for a while. To see how a post-Civil War state can basically establish itself in a de jure format.
So what I don't have the exact text in front of me. So what does the equal footing clause say specifically? Is there something in there that can be determined that in fact we were established as a de jure state, even though we came after
essentially
that?
Equal footing as far as because the original 13.
Yeah.
Isn't that Article 6? What article is that you're talking about?
Well, the equal footing clause says under the original 13. And the original 13 were free, sovereign, independent states.
But doesn't it say that every state to enter into the Union after enters in under equal footing as the original 13?
Of course it does, but the problem is that those states came in after the 14th was implanted and Reconstruction was implanted. So therefore,
I'm trying to figure out how that clause even applies to our conversation. Does anybody know where it is? I'm looking. Which clause?
I don't have a Constitution in front of me right now.
You're on the Constitution
I'm in my
radio
truck,
show, and you don't have a Constitution in front of you. That's just sad. I'm sure glad the host does.
No, because
I've got a Constitution in front of me, but I don't see
well,
it right offhand.
I can Google the equal footing clause. Because the framers didn't know the 14th was going to happen. And
well, I got to find that clause to understand how it applies, and I'm not finding that clause.
Well, it doesn't apply.
It's not actually a clause.
The equal footing doctrine, also known as equality of states, is the principle in United States constitutional law that all states admitted to the Union under the Constitution since 1789 enter on equal footing with the 13 states already in Union at that time.
Well, what if they've joined and now there's 14? Where did you read that from?
Well, that was just a quick thing that I just Googled. Doctrine of Equality of the States. Article 4, States Relations, U.S. Constitution.
Article section what?
Section 3, Clause 1. New states may be admitted by Congress into this Union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of two or more states or parts of states without the consent of the legislature of the states concerned as well as Congress.
That's not equal.
So in other words, West Virginia cannot reestablish.
Yeah, West Virginia was an oxymoron.
That has nothing to do with equal footing. That clause. Let me see if I can Google it and find something.
No, there's an equal footing clause.
Generally, equal footing is found within the state constitutions itself. Usually right there in the first article. Like in Texas,
there's an equal footing doctrine.
I think it's like Section 2.
Yeah.
No, there's an equal footing doctrine of 1789, I believe. Doctrine, also known as equity of states, is a principle in the United States Constitution. All that all states admitted since 1789 enter an equal of the 30 states. That's a doctrine created by. That's not Article 4.
It's not actually a clause itself. No.
Doctrine of the equality of states.
Section 3, Clause 1.
New states may be, but no new states before. Yeah, that's not. There's an equal.
Okay, hold on. If you go to the congressional record when they admitted states into the Union, it will state right in there in the admittance of the state that they are admitted under equal footing with the original 13. I mean, you have to go look at all your states that were inducted into the United States, and it'll say there, equal footing with the original 13.
At the 1787 Constitutional Convention, a proposal to include the phrase, new states shall be admitted on the same terms with the original states, was defeated. It was feared that the political power of the future in the Western would eventually overwhelm. That is, once the new Constitution went into effect, our Congress admits on equal terms. That's not part of the Constitution. I'm still looking to see here if it was an act of Congress later, but it was not part of the Constitution.
Okay, fine. It may not be part of the Constitution per se. If you look at the induction clauses of the states being admitted to the United States post 13, there's a clause in those inductions, those bills, those acts, whatever you want to call them, that they are admitted on equal footing with the original 13. So
now that I could buy.
Precedence is set. All right? So an act of Congress admits the new state on equal footing. Therefore, and I'm going to, you guys are going to kill me for bringing this up, but formality and continuous of formality on a level of continuance of doing the same thing over and over, that falls under UCC of, common practice.
Sure. But here, here I found another section here. Beginning with the admission of Tennessee in 1796, Congress has included in each state, just what you just said, States Act of Admission, a clause providing that it enters the Union on equal footing. And so it's something that Congress agreed to and has carried forward, but it was not part of the Constitution, even though there's nothing.
Congress
nothing
in new state.
Yeah, but there's nothing in the Constitution that would be opposite of that either.
That's what I was saying. The individual state constitutions, just like the Texas Constitution, is Article 1, Section 2, or Section 3 that it states that. And and I know Texas Constitution very well. I don't know other states' constitutions, of course.
No, so that here's
each
a
state constitution is going to have something similar like that.
And here's a good question for Ryan. Does Utah Constitution, the original one, the first one, I don't know how many you may have had since then, does that have the equal footing clause?
I can't answer that question right now.
Well, I'm not asking.
I don't know that I've ever read anything specifically on that in the Utah Constitution.
Well, that would be a good point to bring up, to say, well, wait a minute, and then go look at your admittance into the United States and see if that clause is in there.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. We do have an idiot clause. Does that count for anything?
Well, I mean,
don't go there, Paul.
The idiot clause specifically says that. Basically, I can't remember the exact wording either, but it says idiots do not have the right to vote in the state of Utah. I was like, well, hell, that rules me out.
Oh, was that pre or post 14th Amendment?
Does it explain which idiot gets to determine who's an idiot?
It does not explain that. It just says you'll have to if you're interested in it, I'll post it somewhere because it's kind of funny.
Put it in our show page.
Words. I will.
Put it in our show page if you find it.
Yeah, well, I have it on my phone. I just can't access it while I'm actually on the phone.
Sure.
But
in Utah, state constitution should have the section under there, that they're supposed to be under a Republican form of government. That alone, no state, no de facto state is under a Republican form of government right now.
If anything, if we were,
They had one job. They had one job.
if we were, and we were all Republican form of government, we would all have equal footing. By default.
Anyway, so now that we got off on that tangent,
well, that's why we're having an open discussion tonight. We can go all over the place.
Tangents welcome.
Notes. Huh?
I said tangents welcome.
Well, yeah. So we're doing an open show tonight, and that way it gives us more fodder to continue the series of the show.
Yeah. Well, that would be something interesting to research, though. I'd be kind of interested to know if that equal footing law doctrine puts us on the same level as pre-14th Amendment states, or not.
Is fodder on our watch list?
Fodder?
Is fodder on our word watch list?
No.
Okay, I was just checking.
I mean, we could put jetsam and flotsam on there too, if you want.
Well, I think the list is long enough. I was just checking.
I'm just curious, Harry. What happened to the guys when we were first testing it out that popped on and they're not here anymore?
I think we shut them down intellectually. I think that's the whole problem. Whether they're listeners in on recordings, and I don't know.
That was the show I was listening to for the first half hour of this one. I was listening to that guy down there in Alabama go on his rant.
Yeah. He was fun.
Yeah, he was something.
He was NSA.
He
might have been.
Well, I don't know. He was very passionate about his beliefs, but I don't know that he knew what his beliefs actually were.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. He didn't.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Guess I'm gonna have to go back and look through the archives on that one. I've missed out a little bit.
Yeah,
it was the first show. Yeah, it was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
A month ago, Sean.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying we could do, a whole month, not one day out of the week. Every day I don't think there is a single day that goes by that I don't talk about something to do with Reconstruction.
Yeah, I know. I'm just referring to earlier this show where I mentioned 4 weeks and then you said a month, and I said, well, that's 4 weeks. So I'm just giving you a hard time. I know you were educated at Texas schools. Ooh. That was a low cut.
Mm-hmm.
Below the belt there.
Yeah.
I love you, Sean. Don't ever forget that.
I love you too, man. I mean, I like your chicken better, but
Well, if I didn't overdrive, can you believe I've had a oven thermometer, meat thermometer for probably 15 years. That thing has worked every time I've needed it. It was never all that super important. And now here I am about done drying my my deer jerky and my batteries out in that thing at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening. I overdried it, but I might send you some.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You're going to send Sean some. Where's mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually you're the one that has to share because you're the address I have.
Oh, okay. So I could just tell Sean, well, it never came.
It never arrived.
It never came. Oh, I would know.
You'll smell the dog's breath. He'll know.
No,
look
my
for
dog
orange teriyaki, Sean. Orange teriyaki. Just imagine that taste. And look for that.
Sean will know if I got it because my dogs will be still following me.
That's what I said. Smell their breath. He'll know. Yeah.
Well, I must say that this has been a very good, productive, all over the place conversation tonight.
I just wish we'd get some more people in here.
Well, I
Where's all
think
my
we
friends?
have people. You don't have any friends.
Oh, that was. I opened myself up for that one. But I have seen on the statistics, people are listening to the recording, so
Yeah,
better than
that's
nothing.
fine.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have fun editing this one.
Why? What else you got in store for us here? You got what?
Well,
20s
nothing. This is going to be a good one to put forth before we go next week, and we're going to do the preamble, are we not?
Well, we'll just have to see. I got 2 cars I got to get
y'all
done.
were going to do that weeks ago.
Well, I just haven't had the time. I have been absolutely slammed with work for over the last month. I finally got caught up where I got 2 cars to work on tomorrow and was picking Mama up at the airport at 9 o'clock. Well, I just got a message just before the show that her flight has been moved up to 3 o'clock, so I don't know if I'm going to have Friday off or not. I was hoping to focus Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on writing, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, can I make a suggestion?
I have to pick her up at the airport.
Can I make a suggestion?
Okay, go ahead.
We're into the first week of December.
Yeah.
And this free-for-all conversation we're having is actually working tonight because we got callers, we got listeners. Why don't we just push?
Amazing what happens when I show up.
Yeah.
Hey. Why don't we push the premiere of the series to the new year, the first week in January, so we can get through the holidays and, but we'll do a show next Wednesday, more free for all.
Now, I'm thinking on that note, what's next Wednesday, the 12th, 19th, 26th. So 2 weeks from tonight, I'll just come on and sing Christmas carols to everybody.
Oh my God! Well, then you're gonna have to have Ian. You're gonna have to have Ian in your background playing music.
Oh, that's a sore subject with me right now, so we won't go too far.
Oh, don't say that. I like the guy.
Oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, no doubt about that. His
Well,
heart's
I like
in the
how
right
he comes, and I like how he always comes over to your house when you're barbecuing.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, when I asked my son how I should handle the situation, I'm not going to sit here on the air and go over this situation. But I asked him how I should handle it. He goes, "Dad, you know how Ion is." And I said, "Well, okay, enough said."
But no, I'm thinking maybe we should just close out the year with free for all shows so that people can listen to them, and because they're distracted right now, they're not ready to start.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We can always get Antoine to come on with anarchist style Christmas tune.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's writing music now.
But I'm not so certain. Now, I haven't seen any comments on the Facebook tonight telling me that they couldn't get on, but I'm still not sure I got that working.
Well, I'm not even into chat tonight because you're there, so I would knock you out.
No, that's not the chat that I'm on. I'm on my laptop. I'm actually logged on as a listener and watching comments. I'm not in the chat room.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. I thought you were in there as you.
Why? Are you able to get into the chat room? The actual chat room?
I haven't tried. I haven't tried.
Give it a try. As far as I know, they still don't have it fixed, which is kind of ticking me off. We're coming up on this is our 4th show, and they still don't have our chat room working. That kind of ticks me off.
Hold on.
Watch you get on there. There's 1,000 comments and people going, "Why aren't you reading my comment on there?"
Yeah, I know. It's like I thought you were in there.
No. I logged on as if with the laptop as a listener, because if you go there, you can see other people's comments down at the bottom. There's a comment section, and you can watch. That's where Ryan was last week. Yeah,
well, Ryan's on the air now.
I know.
Ryan, start singing some Christmas carols or something.
I'm trying to find that idiot clause now.
Oh, it's yeah, no, it's the Flash player's not letting me go in.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 flash comes on and stays on.
No.
They said they
I'm
could.
not-
They said their engineers were looking into it and that they'd let me know, and they haven't let me know yet. So they still don't have it fixed, which is kind of like,
So
hey,
Paul, you know how you sent me the host number and the ID? I tried that one first, and it wouldn't let me. It said that only one host can, do that. So
Well, no, I sent you all the numbers because that's the way it came up, and so you should have done guest call-in number, not host number.
Here we
well,
go,
that's
guys.
what I did the second time. I'm just saying that multiple hosts can't call in.
Can't be on.
We've done, but 8 years ago we did that. We had multiple people in there.
Ryan, it sounded like you had something you would read us.
Yeah. I gotta. Since we talked about it a little while ago, I just gotta bring this back up. Article 4, Section 6 of the Utah State Constitution, original Constitution, reads, certain criminals, etc., ineligible to vote. No idiot, insane person, or person convicted of treason or crime against the elective franchise, unless restored to civil rights, shall be permitted to vote in any election or be eligible to hold office in this state. So right there, that tells you that all of our representatives are ineligible to be holding their office right now.
All right. What year is that Constitution?
That would have been our original Constitution in, I believe, 1877, 1879. I'm not sure exactly.
All right. Now hold on, because I want to look up
1898.
All right.
Is the year.
Because between 1898 and today, the word idiot means a completely different thing. And, here's the thing, Ryan, is that you cannot take 19th century or 17th century words and apply them to the dictionary today. You have to go to the earliest source dictionary you can find. Because that's the way they were written.
Be 1898, which would be basically Black's Law, first edition.
Yeah. So, Ryan.
In fact, wasn't that the year Black's Law came out? 1898?
Probably, but I would, if it's de facto, then Black's Law would apply because it's legal, not lawful. But it wouldn't hurt to go look at Bouvier's 1856 and see what the word idiot meant, lawfully. And I'm gonna look that up right now. Oh. Somebody fill some time there with that air. But I'll let you have a minute.
We got nothing. Just
space
space for me to.
You got nothing.
Just space for me to edit out. I was actually looking up Beauvais, but
I'm getting it right now.
I must have
you're
cleared
the
my.
host. I'm background.
Oh, okay. Oh, I must have cleared my.
Idiot. Persons. A person who has been without
Paul, you are
breaking
up. Paul, you are breaking up big time.
I'm shouting. Better?
Well, go ahead and try again. Yeah, every time you talk, it's like breaking up.
Person who has been without understanding from his nativity, and who the law therefore presumes never likely to attain shelf.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yeah, we didn't understand you.
Oh, I don't know why I'm breaking up all of a sudden.
know, every now and then, every show somewhere you have.
Well, there's a connectivity. Oh, I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up like crazy.
Well, it says right here.
I know why I'm breaking up.
Why?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I think so.
Yeah. No, I'm breaking up because while the page was trying to load, I was trying to read it. The loading aspect was cutting in and out.
Yep. And you wouldn't get that as much if you were hardwired.
Well, I can't do that yet, but I'll work on it. So that's why I'm saying.
Do you need me to send you something?
Yeah, I need a lot of things. Send me out.
Wait a minute. I think I found it. It says a person who always finds some. A person who has been without understanding from his nativity, and whom the law therefore presumes never likely to attain any.
Yep.
That's an idiot.
Yep. So so basically he is a bastard.
Now where do you get that?
Without nativity?
Do I have to go to page B now and look up that word?
No.
Now we have to find nativity.
No, but see, this is the thing that happens time and time again, because we're in the 21st century and we're using common day terminology to define something at the time that doesn't apply anymore.
This clause, by the way, has been amended. It no longer reads "no idiot, insane person, or person convicted of treason."
Yeah.
That was the original text of the Constitution, and it's just funny. It's just it means nothing now, but at the time, and it's kind of a fun little jab at people too, you know. Say, hey, it says right here in the Utah Constitution you can't vote. You're an idiot.
Well, actually, wouldn't that clause, Sean, negate the 14th Amendment citizen?
What's that, Paul?
Wouldn't that clause negate the 14th Amendment citizen?
Sorry, I might have to ask you to repeat it. Sorry, I had
Right.
music background, Jessica, yada yada yada. Yeah,
What's new?
That's why I had my phone on mute.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Ryan. Okay.
Sorry,
Harry,
I apologize.
okay, Ryan, read the quote again, and Harry, you got the definition, right?
I had the definition.
Okay.
I closed that out.
All right.
Hold on.
While Ryan's Ryan's
can...
reading it, bring it back up. Ryan, read the clause.
Okay. It says certain criminals, etc., ineligible to vote. No idiot, insane person, or person convicted of treason or crime against the elective franchise, unless restored to civil rights, shall be permitted to vote in any election or be eligible to hold office in this state.
All right, now Harry, read the definition of idiots, Bouvier, 1856.
And we may have to look up nativity for that one to see what they meant by nativity. Come on.
All right.
This page is moving real slow. There's IC. IN. I'm back down to IN. Come on. A person who has been without understanding from his nativity, and whom the law therefore presumes never likely to attain any. So what does understanding from his nativity mean?
All right, Sean. Does that
Understanding
sound
from
like
his
it?
birth. Understanding from his birth.
Right.
Basically, yeah, no bastards. Sorry to say, but if he's
So
been,
it's not.
basically no understanding of his family itself. Basically, father to son, father to son.
So the modern definition is a person with especially a profound intellectual disability. That's the modern definition. So basically, from birth. So basically, back then, an idiot meant, for lack of a better term, a retarded individual, somebody that had mental.
Here's what I'm getting. Hang on. Here's what I'm getting. So basically, a native is all persons born within the jurisdiction of the United States are considered as natives. Natives will be classed as those born before the Declaration of Independence. All persons without regard to the place of their birth. So I'm thinking that definition, a person who has been without understanding from his nativity. In other words, he doesn't understand the laws. Right. He doesn't understand his area, his government, and whom the law therefore presumes never likely to attain any. They're saying somebody that doesn't understand their area shouldn't be, and they can't be elected. Correct, Ryan?
Yeah, I believe so. Somebody that was born, somebody that has never learned ever since birth anything that just doesn't understand.
All right.
His nativity, his state of
birth.
Yes, he doesn't understand their state. So if he doesn't understand his state, he shouldn't be in office. That's the way I read that.
No. He can't vote.
Can't vote.
Or hold office.
Sure.
Or be eligible to hold office.
Yeah.
And this is exactly where the 14th Amendment circumvents that philosophy. All persons born and naturalized in the United States are U.S. citizens. So then they go to indoctrination school, and they're told, yeah, you're U.S. citizens, and we got great America, rah rah rah, U.S. flag, my America, and this that. Because they were never told the truth.
Well,
so,
don't forget Section 2 of the 14th Amendment.
Well, of course, but
the problem is to that, because the second section is where basically it's where the Congress was the first time that Congress dictated who could vote. Article 1 describes the only other time before that the Constitution mentions any power of Congress to dictate who could vote was that if you were eligible to vote for your state legislation, your state whatever, then you were eligible automatically to vote for your U.S. representative.
Right. Well, I'm not going there yet, but right now the way I'm seeing it by hearing the Utah clause is that in America today we have idiots voting.
Yeah, people that don't know their laws, they don't know their government, they don't know anything. Just what they've been fed with at the fool system. But
so I mean, this could be a court case. It's like, wait a minute,
Well, don't forget that's just Utah, and then he said it was amended. So
yeah,
so
that's
no longer.
It's an old clause.
Well, Brian, if you could, I don't know, send me that in a message thing so I can go look at it.
Yeah, I'll send you that, and I'll look at the.
Put it right on the Facebook page. Things that we've discussed tonight.
Yeah. Put it on the
input from other people.
Yeah, are you in the group page?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, if you see the posting
4, section Article 4, Section 6. I'm looking at the modern definition now. It says Article 4, Section 6. is mentally incompetent persons, convicted felons, and certain criminals ineligible to vote. Any mentally incompetent person, any person convicted of a felony, or any person convicted of treason or a crime against the elective franchise may not be permitted to vote in any election or be eligible to hold office in this state until the right to vote or hold elective offices is restored as provided by statute.
See, right there, they're declaring that the government has the right to dictate who can vote and who cannot vote, even though voting under the original precepts was a right. They just took your right away.
Well, they're saying that no mentally incompetent person. Well, who defines what is mentally incompetent and what is mentally competent?
Right, but they're saying
who defines that?
Well, first of all, they're saying person. They're not saying the people who have the right to vote. People and persons.
Any mentally incompetent person.
Right. People and persons are two different things. Under the legality of the reconstituted states.
But what I'm saying is there's no clear definition of who gets to define what a mentally incompetent person is.
Well, the key word is
who sets
person.
Those standards?
Key word is person.
Okay, I'm not following you. I guess there's still
I'm a people. No, I'm a people. I'm not a person. Person is abstract.
I'm still not following you there.
All right. Well, look at the 14th Amendment. All persons born and naturalized. Okay. Look at your Bill of Rights. Does especially Article 4 or the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be protected in their person. All right? Now, see, so the people have persons. Person is abstract. Person is a all right, Ryan, let me ask you, how old are you?
I don't know, 41 or 42, something.
Okay, are you married?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Does your wife call you Ryan, or does she call you honey, or does she call you dear, sweetheart?
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay, so you answer to those names, don't you?
Yeah, I answered.
All right.
All
right, now. All right, now, dear kids, do they call you Ryan, or do they call you Daddy, or Papa, or stuff like this?
Yeah, they usually. I'm
so
Dad.
See, therefore, those from your wife to your kids. I don't know if you got grandkids yet. You answer to all those names. That's your person.
Okay.
Right? Dear, sweetheart, this, that. You still answer your wife. Dad,
right.
Papa, you answer to the kids when they say that name. Those are different persons. But that's, but you are Ryan Reinhold, and that is you as one of the people. But you still, does if you got a dog, if he barks, do you answer to it? That's your person. Because you respond to different titles and different acknowledgments, depending on the situation. Does that make sense?
Sorta.
Okay.
I think I'm following you there, but
no, because
I still don't know what that has to do with who gets to define mentally incompetent.
Because they're using the word person. It's an abstract. what person are you acknowledging the mental defect in? You know, if your wife calls you,
I got multiple personalities now, or
yes, exactly. Because when you go to work, you're this person. When you come home, you're that person. When you respond to your wife or your kids calling you, you're that person. As far as you're taking on multiple personalities. And what this is a legal definition of a person under the U.S. government to respond to their tax-paying 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. You're that
Hey, Paul?
person. Yeah.
Paul?
Yep.
I don't know if this is right. Correct me, but I'll tell you what, we are under 5 minutes.
I don't see the clock right now.
Yeah, we're down to 4 minutes and 38 seconds. The show is over. I mean, we can still talk after that. I mean, Ryan, you can even stay on after that. But as far as the recording of the show, we're done in 4 minutes 30 seconds. A lot of times, when you go back to Amendment 2, you're talking about the right of the people. So I think that the better way of explaining that is when they're talking about the people, they're talking about everybody. This is a people, this is a people, this is a people. These are all the people. Okay. But then the person is kind of taken a bit down to a personal, individual. Right, to the personal level, which makes sense because they're both personal. So, right. All right.
That makes more sense.
And Paul, does that fit into what you were saying?
Yeah, it does. But you said Amendment 2, and I was talking about Amendment 4.
Right, but I'm saying even in Amendment 2, they use the term the people. So everybody's a people, and these are the people. But when you get down to a more personal...
Amendment 2 is the people, the right of the people for a secure state is Amendment 2. So... Yeah. That is talking about the state of the people,
right?
Of that state.
But
the right of the people in Section 4 or Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their houses, papers, and effects.
Let me jump in real fast here and just see if I can put this into layman's terms as I understanding it at the moment. A people, we the people, the right of the people. People is referring to an individual.
No.
A person. An actual person. Persons is referring to that person's mental state, their personality, their capacity as a people, as a human being. So people refers to the individual as a human being. Persons refer to that individual's personality, that individual's state of mind, mental capacity.
I'm going to digress on that, or I'm going to make an adjustment on that. Have you ever even looked up what the word person means?
No.
Persona?
No, I have not.
It's shortened for persona. It's a Greek word, which means mask. So which mask are you wearing at the moment in time that you have to be secured in?
So that's your personality, right?
Yeah. Are you the personality of a husband? Are you the personality of a dad? Are you the personality of the worker? Are you the personality, of this?
Yeah. No, I follow you.
So that's why I'm saying the word person is abstract. It depends on the moment in time you're in. All right? It has nothing to do with being a people. You are a people.
A people is a human being, an individual.
You're a people, but you have a person. It depends. Are you the person at work? Are you the person at home? Are you the person, doing this? Are you the person doing that? Because you have multiple personalities, depending on the moment in time.
I think y'all are overcomplicating it, by the way.
Well, fine, son.
I'm going to complicate it. I want to complicate it even more.
Okay.
Hold on.
One thing.
Hold on. I got to wrap up. Sean, I have to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
We're done in 30 seconds, and I hope we carry this for people that are listening on next week. But we can talk after the show's over. We're going to be done recording here in just a few seconds. I want to thank anybody that has come on the show tonight. I guess it's just Ryan and Sean and Paul and me. Hopefully we got listeners. Hopefully we got people listening to the archives. But thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week. Same time, same station. blogtalkradio.com, the Constitution Explained, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Ryan. And the episode is over.
Thank you, Harry.
We've never been to Mars. There's still no cure for the common cold. In the time it takes you to complete your college degree, there will be 20 oil spills. Are you satisfied? We're not. Poet isn't waiting for someone else to change the world, and neither should you. So if you never turn your back on a challenge, and if you never run out of big ideas, we have a $5,000 scholarship with your name on it. Visit poet.com/neversatisfied to apply today.